I do not consider myself a shy person. I am outspoken. I like to put my word out. I like to put my 2 cents into everything.
No, I'm not shy at all.
No, I don't consider myself a shy person. I feel like I'm pretty outgoing, pretty open with what I say.
No, I don't consider myself a shy person because I'm very energetic. I'm out there, I don't like those awkward moments where you just stare at people in the corner of the room, so.
I consider me a shy person when I'm trying to get a guy's number or something, but not in general.
Basically, just being shy around big groups of people, things like that, sort of like an anxiety kind of thing.
To a certain extent, I consider myself a shy person.
Shyness is a personality trait that many of us have.
It can be a source of great creativity and goodness in our lives, but in some cases, it can be a source of great pain.
It all depends on where our shyness takes its root.
The Merriam-Webster Dictionary has several definitions for shyness, like timid, reserved,
or disposed to avoid a person or thing.
In a poll of 10,000 teenagers, half of the girls and 43% of the boys describe themselves as somewhat or very shy.
So shyness is a very common experience, and it can be part of our personality.
But it can also be challenging because American culture idolizes the outgoing personality.
And in many ways seeks to belittle those more naturally introverted.
Breaking down the walls of shyness. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Nick.
And this is Real Faith TV. Some of the teens on the street confess that they are shy individuals in public,
while others could recognize their personalities as being more extroverted.
We'll hear from them more in a little while, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Christian, who will share with us what shyness means to him.
And why he considers himself a shy person.
I define shyness as comfortability with the people around you. If you're shy, you're not usually comfortable with who's around you. You don't want to speak or talk or usually greet them. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rank my shyness at probably about a 5. I'm shy about a few things, like public speaking. Actually, I think when I was younger, I was probably less shy, and as I got older, I got more shy. I probably had more responsibilities and speaking with people, talking with people. You don't know when you get older, so you get a little bit more shy. People get shy or nervous, they get shaky, or they start shaking or get sweaty or something. So sometimes that happens to me also. Shyness, it has a small impact on my life. Well, I don't want to go out and do things because sometimes I'm afraid talking to other people or being around other people. So I guess sometimes it does affect my life a little bit. If I were not as shy, I'd probably go out and do a lot more things, see a lot more people, meet a lot more people. Some of my friends are not very shy. They're really outgoing, so they've always done things, and I wasn't really comfortable with it, so I never really went along and did the things that they did, and I was a little jealous of that. Sometimes they'd go out to a party for our school, after a graduation, but it was just at a different school, and they knew some of the kids, and I didn't really know them, so I was kind of shy around them. I didn't really want to go because I didn't feel comfortable being in that situation. My shyness has limited me. But in school, I'd have to do public speaking projects, and I'd be nervous about it. You have butterflies. So it was always hard. I'd sometimes not get a very good grade on the public speaking part. I've learned that sometimes when you're shy, you lose out on or miss opportunities to do things, hanging out with friends, going to certain events, doing different things. So sometimes you just got to overcome your shyness and work through it. And when you work through it, eventually you won't become as shy anymore.
I don't consider myself to be a shy person because whenever an activity comes up or anything, I'm right in the middle. I'm always involved. I'm not one to be quiet at all. What about you?
I'm not a shy person at all, actually. And just like you said, I'm always a leader, and I always want to be in the front. And I feel like that's the same way with the activities I'm involved in. So I am not a shy person. Let's see where our studio guests rank on the shyness scale.
All right, today in the studio we have Charles,
Emily,
Ella,
Colette,
Juliana,
and Jenna. Are you shy, or do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I know I'm not one to always be like the quiet one, but sometimes I do get a little nervous, like if I have to like say something in front of people. But normally, like my normal personality is just like very like loud and outgoing.
I wouldn't use the word shy to describe myself. I think that I'm more reserved. I'm not the loudest person in the room, but I will take the opportunity to speak in front of people or put myself out there.
I used to be a very shy person, and it was because I didn't really know who I was. So I would like watch a movie and like play roles of the character. One week I'd come in rock and roll as Freaky Friday, the next week country girl like The Parent Trap, and I'd be trying to figure out all these different people and which one was more like me until I figured out what I believed in, and I was confident in the person that I made myself.
I feel like I'm a person that is very comfortable in front of speaking in front of other people. But then again, I also feel comfortable with being a little bit reserved. I like to think, take some time to myself and just think about and just ponder at life.
I would say I used to be more shy than I am now. Like right now, I'm not really that shy anymore because I guess like starting high school, it's something new, mostly new things like starting the show here. I was shy because I didn't know as many people, wasn't as comfortable. But now I'm not as shy as a person anymore.
If you've ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality test, you are either assessed as an introvert or an extrovert.
We all have elements of introversion and extroversion in our personalities, but one is usually more dominant than the other.
Introverts get energy and enjoy taking time to process, think, and to have quiet time.
Extroverts get energy from and enjoy being with others and talking a lot.
We can even look to the saints and see some were outgoing, like St. Paul, who shared the gospel in cities all around the Mediterranean Sea.
While some were more reserved, like Saint Therese, who loved others through little ways, in the convent of nuns where she lived.
One personality type is not better than the other because God uses our unique talents and traits to build up his kingdom.
It truly takes all types.
Next, we asked the teens on the street if they ever saw shyness as something negative.
Let's hear what they had to say.
No, there's nothing wrong with being shy. If you're shy, you're shy. You can't help it.
I don't believe it's a negative characteristic as much as a choice or a wall to put up.
I mean, some people are just born shy.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with being shy. You know, I have a shy friend right here.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I don't think so, no. I don't see why it would be considered a negative characteristic in people.
Sometimes, like if you're trying to get a job or interview or something like that, but other than that, no. Most people think it's kind of cute to be shy.
Meeting girls, for instance, when my friend is shy, it's kind of hard because if I'm going up to a group alone, it kind of makes it more awkward than if I went up there with my friend.
I mean, if my friends are shy, then we can't really go out. We can't really do whatever we want to do. You know, you can't really be like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go talk to new people.
I get social anxiety sometimes from going out with people or out to a friend's house. It's hard to fit in, you know?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, going to a party, you know, trying to, you know, ask a girl out there, you know, things like that.
I guess if we were going to go the sports route, I think there's a lot of guys who are shy, but they're the best leaders. You know, they lead by example. Kevin Durant is a guy in the NBA. I don't know if you know who he is, but I think he's definitely a good leader. He comes off as pretty shy to me.
Now, sometimes being shy is a symptom of something deeper going on.
If we are so shy that we experience a lot of anxiety and fear in social situations, we may have a social anxiety or phobia.
But it's important to understand that God created us to be in community with others.
This doesn't mean we have to be the life of the party, but it does mean sharing life with others, building friendships, and serving God's people.
Let's go back to our spotlight guest, Christian, where he'll share with us how he helped a friend overcome his shyness during an opportunity in a public speaking class.
And how a camping trip with a group of people he didn't know really put his shyness to the test.
I've helped actually one of my friends overcome his shyness. We were both kind of shy, so I felt it was easier for us to be together and kind of help each other out. So I helped him out and he helped me out to overcome our shyness. I think it was also a public speaking class we did together. He had to go before me, you know, so I told him to, you know, read his speech to me and I'd read it back, and I just tried to get him comfortable with speaking and not being shy in front of our class. Eventually when he got up to the class, he felt like he was just speaking to me. He wasn't shy anymore. He got rid of all of his nervousness. a camp to go to for church in Tucson, and I didn't really know any of the kids that were going on the camp, so I didn't feel comfortable. I was shy. I didn't want to go, so I felt kind of like an outcast, and they all knew each other. But I went anyways. When we first got there, we kind of had like a little group session. We talked about each other and we greeted each other. I got to know a lot of the kids just by doing that little group meeting. They all went around, told us about themselves. And when it came to my turn, they opened up to me easily, so I feel like I could open up back to them. I had a great time with them. I made a lot of new friends. So in the end, it turned out all right. It turned out pretty good. My twin sister encourages me a lot. She helps me, or she motivates me more to do things. I look at things she's accomplished, and I think I could do that too. Like doing this interview, she usually accepted doing the interview. You know, I was a little nervous and shy about doing it, but she talked me into it, and I believe I could do it too. My sister definitely gives me courage to do something. She's pretty outgoing. She's not very shy, so I look up to her sometimes too. When I'm feeling shy, or I look at what she does and what she's accomplished, and I feel like I could do that too. So she definitely encourages me.
So have you guys ever helped someone to get over their shyness?
One instance that comes to mind is in school in our choir period, because I mean there are a lot of friends that I have in choir that are very outspoken with their voice. They sing very loud, and you could definitely hear them out of the others. But then I have a couple other friends who are very quiet with their voices and don't want to stick out as much. It doesn't matter what you sound like, whether you're good or bad, it makes you better. Like one of the things my choir teacher says is like, if you're gonna make a mistake, make it loud. And that's really inspired me to push forward, and other people that are pretty shy to push forward with their voices.
I recently worked at a camp, and there was a lot of campers that were shy and they didn't want to interact with the other campers. And as a camp aide, I need to make sure that they are having a good time and they are interacting. So my friends and we decided to play games with them, like the name game, and we all interacted and they had a great time.
On a similar note, when I volunteer at my middle school's drama club, part of my responsibility is to help the more timid children who are in the ensemble try to come alive and become more part of the cast to help the show. And I have noticed that through my doing that, they have opened up in all aspects of their life. They're trying new clubs and new things, so that's really nice to see.
Yeah, at school, like I do some of the shows and musicals at school. Incoming freshmen are more shy and timid, and I know that like from my experience, I've been in that place and I've wanted someone to be my friend. So I try to like talk to them, introduce them to new people, because I feel like that would help them.
Yeah, if I see someone, like maybe if they're standing alone or maybe if they're just by themselves, I try and go over to them and like just talk to them and see like maybe they are shy, but that's like who they are and that's how they feel most comfortable. So like I wouldn't want to make them feel uncomfortable, so I just let them like go slowly into maybe being a little more louder.
We can help our friends overcome their shyness. Like Christian, we can help them to practice or rehearse their class presentations or public speaking opportunities.
We can encourage them and build up their confidence like Christian's sister did.
Supporting our friends who tend to be shy may also reassure them that there is nothing wrong with shyness.
And that we accept them just as they are.
Let's go back to the teens on the street, where we asked them, would you question your abilities if you were shy?
Let's hear what they had to say.
When I usually get shy, it like lowers my self-esteem. So yes, I guess it would make me question my abilities.
Well, if I was shy, yeah, I would question my abilities.
Yes, I do. I do question my abilities. You know, it's just basically like just like worried about what might happen and everything. You know.
I think it just takes some time for them to, first open up with people and, show who they really are.
The techniques I use to overcome my shyness could be just surrounding myself with people I know well, people I'm comfortable with.
I don't know. I'm just not shy.
So I usually like walk away for a few seconds, say, yeah, Stephanie, you're the one man, and then go ahead and do what I have to do.
I just kind of say the things in my head that I'll say to other people before I actually say it.
I'm not really sure if there are any techniques. I think it just comes with, growing up as a person and just maturing. I think Practice. Being in social situations, even my own life. I was never like a shy kid, but as you get older, you get more comfortable with who you are.
God created us in His image and likeness, so we can be confident as His sons and daughters, whether we are shy or not.
In the book of Isaiah, God tells us not to fear because He is with us.
And St. Paul writes to the Ephesians that we should focus on what God thinks, not what others think.
We bring up these examples in Scripture because we need to try to see as God sees when looking at situations when shyness holds us back.
Addressing the root of our shyness doesn't mean changing our personality.
It simply means clearing out the bad stuff and letting God's freedom seep into our hearts so we can be our true selves.
We can truly conquer fear with our faith.
Next, Christian talks to us about how shyness affected him from an early age when he started with sports.
And how faith has helped to guide him in overcoming any shyness he now deals with.
When I first actually started sports, it was like my first baseball practice. I was really scared, really nervous, and I didn't want to go out and play. So I actually hid under my bed. My dad had to come find me and get me out, but eventually I got out there and I played baseball all the way through high school, and then I played also 2 other sports. I played basketball and football all the way through high school. So that was a big step in my life where I had to overcome my shyness. Well, one person who I look up to, he's not very shy, is Tim Tebow. He's very religious and he's not afraid to come out and speak about how he feels and how close he is with God and everything. If there's one person I'd want to be and have his confidence, it'd probably be him. My relationship with God helps me because I have a pretty close relationship with Him. So I like to pray a lot. I go to church all the time. So I feel like when I'm praying to Him, it helps me, calms me down. I usually pray for Him to help me find courage or strength to get through something that I don't want to do, like a speech or talking to people. So I usually pray to Him. It helps me calm down and get a little more comfortable. Just kind of pray off the top of my head how I'm feeling and what I like for Him to do. Help me calm down, not be nervous, not be shy. That usually works for me, helps me out. I get through it all right.
How can we overcome some of the negative aspects of shyness through our faith?
One example that I have was this past year I went on a retreat called Kairos, and the group of my friends that I was with, some of us maybe were a little bit more extroverted and some more shy. I was definitely nervous going into it, but when I saw that everyone kind of felt the same way, it all helped us to open up. And then that additional bond of having the faith and God guiding us through it, it helped us to open up. And because we were able to open up, we got so much more out of the retreat.
I feel like to get over some negative aspects, like I just took a trip to Ghana, and where I was staying, the flag had an elephant that was supporting a palm tree, and the people were the palm tree, and the elephant was Ghana, the country supporting them. So I feel like when we realize we have this big foundation like the elephant supporting us, it helps us to overcome the aspects of shyness when we realize we have this big God helping us.
For me personally, whenever I'm feeling shyness or nerves, I think I just pray to God to give me the strength to overcome those nerves or my shyness and to give on the best show I can, whether it's speaking, acting, or singing.
When I was shy, I had a certain faith. Like, I trusted God completely, and I think He started showing me the gifts that I had and how I could use the opportunities that the church was giving me to express those gifts and figure out who I really was.
Next, we asked the teens on the street how their relationship with God gives them confidence to overcome their shyness.
Let's hear them now.
How does your relationship with God give you the confidence and courage to overcome your shyness?
Personally, my relationship with God, I'm agnostic. You know, I don't know if He exists or not.
In order to do anything successful, you gotta have a good relationship with God. And I think, having that good relationship makes you stronger as a person. You feel more confident. You have someone there to kind of boost you a little bit. So I think that's definitely important.
Just to know that everything will be all right. Everything happens for a reason. So if it's too big of a problem, then he'll help me overcome it.
Well, usually when I'm shy, I just pray for a little Holy Spirit to get me on my way.
I know that he's the one there backing me up, watching me at all times, and guiding me through what I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely. Like they said in the clip, that he's always there, and whenever you need him, you know he's going to be there. He'll never not be there. So whenever you do need some maybe guidance or help with something that maybe you have a problem with, that he'll always be there.
What comes to mind for me is like Moses. He had a problem stuttering, and he didn't want to be the chosen one. He didn't want to go speak in front of all the people, but God said to him, you know, I got this. I'll put words in your mouth, more or less. And then that gave Moses confidence to rise up and to talk.
Another figure that I guess shy people could look up to for guidance on becoming more extroverted would be Archbishop Romero, because he was somebody who stepped out of his shyness and became a person who highlighted the social injustices in El Salvador.
I find it amazing that our society pushes for the outgoing person, but how a lot of times you have the shy and meek figure leading the people, like Gandhi or Jesus or Oscar Romero.
Whether we're shy or outgoing, we need to be careful not to judge each other.
We can't make assumptions about those who are different from us.
Instead, we should reach out in friendship and see what we could learn about each other.
Finally, our spotlight guest Christian gives us some perspective on those who are shy.
And offers some advice to others struggling to overcome their own shyness.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being shy. I mean, if you're too shy, you might have problems in life, like public speaking, things like that. But if you're not shy, you're very outgoing, it'd be a lot easier for you. But I'm in the middle of it, so it's okay for me. I can do a little bit of both. Some ways I've overcome my shyness would be playing sports, going out and doing things that you like, so you already feel comfortable with that, and the shyness kind of goes away. Some advice for people who are shy, you know, you gotta think past it. Just don't really think about it too much and just go for whatever it is you're doing. Just try not to think about it a lot. The more you think about it, the more shy you'll get or nervous you get. So just try to not think about it too much and just get through it. Most kids when they're little, they're not too shy, you know, they don't think about things, they just do it. So sometimes if you just think you're a little kid again and just don't think too much and just do it, then it's a lot easier. Wayne Gretzky also said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so I feel like, you know, if you don't go out there and do things, you're gonna miss opportunities. I usually wouldn't do interviews, but, you know, I also just kind of took a deep breath, went through it, you know. I usually don't speak in public or do interviews like that, so they make me nervous sometimes, but you just got to get through it and act like you've done it before.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times society tells us we can't be shy, we have to be outgoing. But you know what? God tells us we have to be who we are, and that's what's best for you. So I'm thinking, like, if you're shy and you're comfortable with it, what's the big deal about it? But at the same time, if it's holding you back from doing something you really love or want to try, then maybe that would be a problem.
That was really good what you just said. And I think that Christian is a really great example for those who consider themselves shy. It was awesome to see how he said he started off shy, but now he was playing all these sports and he was able to do the interview. So I think that even just Christian, someone you can just watch on TV, is a great example.
Well, I know when I go to church, I sense God's help. And afterwards, I feel confident. And even though I'm not like the shy type, I feel powerful and brave and strong.
Yeah, definitely. Even if you do see someone who is standing by themselves, like maybe you could walk over to them and help them like come into the crowd. Maybe they don't have to say as much, but you could just invite them in.
I feel like everybody has some sort of shyness, whether it's a lot or a little, but like I feel like everybody has to take some sort of leap of faith at some point in their life. Like for an example that I think of is like President Obama. Every single time he has to make a speech, he has to make that leap of faith to deliver what he has to say.
If you have a friend who is shy, try to encourage them to join your group activities.
Try to build up their self-esteem and confidence.
Sometimes all they need is a little support.
To know that someone cares and is holding them in prayer.
But even if they don't want to participate in the activity, it doesn't mean you should stop trying.
You never know when they might try to take that leap.
So how does your faith help you break down the walls of shyness?
We'd love to hear from you.
Contact us at realfaithtv.com.
Or send us a tweet.
And we'll leave you today with this from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31.
Be strong and steadfast.
Have no fear or dread of them.
For it is the Lord, your God, who marches with you.
He will never fail you or forsake you.
So remember when we are trying to break down the walls of shyness, that we have nothing to fear because the Lord walks beside us always.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV.
God bless.